This Pioneer Field Agronomist Scott Eversgerd with this week's weekly agronomy message. Over the past week, wheat harvest has gotten off to a pretty good start in a lot of cases, and a few cases finishing up for some guys. Wheat crops really all over the board with some pretty good yields in places, other places not so good. Seen a lot of issues with the wheat crop, from test weight issues to vomitoxin and some sprouting in the head as well. As we get all this deciphered and into usable form, we will get out some management guidelines as to what we think happened for the year and maybe some things we can do moving forward to hopefully prevent some of the issues. From a corn standpoint, it looks like we're very close to a lot of that late April, early May corn is going to be tasseling here very shortly. One thing to be watching closely is going to be the northern corn leaf blight pressure. It looks like obviously we have plenty of inoculum out there. By the forecast, we're going to have an environment that's set up for it, so we could be in a position to where this corn crop gets infected pretty heavy with northern corn leaf blight. Keep in mind, northern is a pretty aggressive pathogen, so we need to be scouting pretty regularly and make some decisions on spraying. If we do decide to spray a fungicide, what we see is there is a direct correlation between the response we get and the disease score that we give a hybrid. So work with your local rep to decide what the scores are, the hybrids you've got planted, if you see some northern in it, and we can do a pretty good job of predicting what that response may look like. Also, in some of these fields are very uneven, so that's going to make for some applications that maybe aren't ideal from a fungicide standpoint. One of the things we definitely want to do is pull the adjuvants out of those applications to allow for some crop safety. The last thing on soybeans would be, as we look at these later planting dates here into July, one of the things we'll say is stick with the maturities that we've planned for. Pulling varieties, either real early or real late varieties into the area that aren't well adapted is probably not the best scenario. So stick with what we got for as long as we can go. On that front, as far as how late we can go, we've in the past few years, probably 3 out of 5 years, have had places in southern Illinois that's planted beans the first few days of August, and they have made beans. So I know a lot of guys are thinking July 10th, July 15th may be a cutoff. History has shown us that we probably can go a little later than that and still make a decent yield here in southern Illinois. As always, if you got any questions, please contact your local